What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today, for review, we have the Porsche 928S, the 1983 version of the car to be specific. This is from Hot Wheels. This is an all-new model for 2025. This is debuting in P-Case, I think. So, if you haven't found it yet, at least you'll still have a good opportunity to. Now, get all that out of the way. Is this one going to be worth picking up? Let's go take a closer look at it and see. So we'll get things started by looking at our casting as always. Proportionally speaking, everything looks pretty solid to me. Don't really have any gripes or complaints there. Gonna pop the real life car in on the corner there next to it so you can kind of compare a little bit there. And then let's go ahead and break the casting down. So everything that you're going to see here painted in this bright red, that is going to be your die-cast metal, which is a pretty pretty healthy chunk of the car itself. I don't really have any beef with that. Now, the base section here is red plastic, and it is going to extend all the way up into actually a good chunk of the bumper, which is a little interesting, and I'll kind of go on that why later on. And then your rear section of the bumper as well is also going to be plastic. Other than that, though, our headlights are going to be incorporated into the window piece as well as our taillights. So a little bit of unique engineering there. But all your body lines going to be replicated quite nicely. I especially like the way this rear section kind of folds back into the wing, or not wing, spoiler, I guess you would say. But, you know, I think that really captures the look of the car quite well. We do get mirrors on this casting, which is always a big bonus in my book. And then we have the sunroof open, which is kind of cool as well. And then there's some actually unique details going on in the interior we'll talk about later. But as a whole, I would say we are pretty solid on the casting. For our paint and deco, as of right now, we only have this one release of the casting. And this one is this very nice bright red, definitely giving like Ferrari red level vibes. And then you've got some Hot Wheels deco on the side, and then the Porsche kind of branding down the side as well, which looks very good. Honestly, probably the best choice for this car to have gotten. Maybe just a slightly darker tone of red would have been even perfecter, more perfect. I'm not speaking well today. It is what it is, but I think it is still very nice. Now, for our details. So starting up front here, we do mention that we do have headlights, but they are a piece of the window. So if that's not your cup of tea, unfortunately, that is the way it is here. Then we also have these little extra lights, I'm assuming. I don't really remember what these are. This is not one of my favorite cars. I don't know a ton about it. Anywho, though, those are also a piece of the window. We do get the Porsche logo right there. Mine is sadly off-center. And, yeah, that's the thing we'll talk about later on as well. Anywho, though, coming down the sides here, we have a good choice for the wheels, I think. Like, these really kind of replicate that old 80s style pretty well. I'm okay with those. And then we get some little, like, side reflectors as well, tampoed on. Not a ton to really talk about. In the rear section, no tampo work whatsoever. Now, it is very hard to tell, but there is kind of a Porsche emblem kind of etched in here. It's actually casted into the body. The paint is just kind of thick on this particular example, and so you can't see it very well. And then we have the taillights here that are a piece of that window there. So details are there, especially for a mainline, but they're not like crazy popping. Moving into the roll test, it's a Hot Wheels mainline, so obviously it's going to roll, and it's going to roll very smoothly. Putting this one on the scale, it comes out to be 28.48 grams, so it is a little bit on the light side as far as mainlines go, but it's not like horrendously noticeable. Pros and cons, getting started with the pros. As of right now, this is going to be the cheapest way to acquire a Porsche 928S for your collection, and I think it's going to look pretty solid in your collection for that price point especially. The other pro I'm going to say is the unique casting. Not really even so much the casting choice, but like the kind of unique things that they did with it. So the sunroof being open, while I would have preferred that to be closed, I do think that's kind of a unique choice for them to do that. And then the kind of molding on the interior piece, like there's a sunglasses on the seat, the passenger seat there. Just the steering wheel gets a little bit more detailed than normal. Like, I think it just really kind of pops in just a little bit of a fun way that you don't always see, and I think that's kind of cool. For the cons, though, there is one we need to talk about, and that is this thing is riddled with QC issues. This is so far the most QC rampant casting I've seen all year from Hot Wheels. So I have not seen two that are quite alike in that term. So I mentioned earlier that the logo on mine up front is way off to the side here. It's definitely not centered. That's a bummer. But of the three of these that I have, I got two from a case and then I got one from a store. Yeah, so the other one that came out of my case, the Porsche logo is like smeared up the side. Not the Porsche. This emblem here is smeared up the side. So it's just extremely bad. And then the other one that I got from the store, didn't even notice it until I got home, but there's like almost no paint back here. So you can see that Porsche like that's been casted in here logo quite well, but it's almost basically a white paint with how thin it is. And that was because I passed on a bunch of other ones that I noticed them like on the hood. There was a lot of like orange peeled paint or like just chunks of paint missing. So for some reason, this casting seems to have been getting a raw deal on the quality control line. Moving into some quick size comparisons, here are a couple other recent Porsche castings that Hot Wheels has done with the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS and the Porsche 928 Safari. And here we have it with some modern Porsches. These are all both premium brands. The one on the left there is going to be your Spark Porsche 911 RSR, and the one over here on your right is going to be your Mini GT Porsche 911 GT2 RS. So let's find some overall opinions here. Hype level for this casting was not crazy. There was a lot of people who love it. The Porsche fanboys were very excited for it. But, I mean, even they were like, okay, it's another 928. So, hype level is decent. But for the price point, I think that is a good amount of hype. The value, again, $1.30-ish now with the higher prices. Still kind of worth it in my opinion. It still looks good. It still very much is a Porsche 928S vibes going on here, and I don't really have any beef there. Community feedback has been mostly positive. There seems to be enough of these out there that everyone's able to find one without any kind of QC issues. So everyone's pretty happy with what they are getting. I have not seen too many negative things other than QC gripes. So when we factor in all this, I think it's a fun new casting. It's been done mostly pretty well, just maybe overlooked a little bit in some of the quality control spots. The casting itself actually shares quite a bit with the 928S, especially in the rear. Like, the rear section there has been done almost identically. The front section is a little odd. Like, there's a little more plastic up front on this one than there is on the Safari version of this car, and I kind of wish they hadn't done that, but it is what it is. That being said, though, it's not the craziest, coolest car that you'll ever see, especially not in my opinion. But overall, I think it's very good, and I would still recommend picking up a few of them. I'm probably going to pick up 3 total, counting this one. So for me, it is what it is, but I still think it's very good. It's a very good representation of the 928S. So if that is a car that you love, I think you're going to be very happy with this. And with that, guys, that is all I have for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on the Porsche 928S from Hot Wheels. And I will see you guys in the next video.